Hello and welcome to the Queen's Lair. It's your girl, TheMadQueen. Today I want to go over the guild hunt specifically for the spider, the Scythe Spider, and I'm not going to go over all of the skills specifically, but I will really quickly give you an overall of what's kind of happening here. This is going to be more of a free-to-play friendly team. I will be releasing two separate videos. One is going to be for free-to-play, and the other one is going to be more so for spenders because it's going to have more triple S heroes. You're going to want to choose heroes that can do AoE damage. The reason for this is because the main spider is going to spawn in a bunch of, I believe it's 6 actually. It's going to spawn in 6 like little minion spiders. If you don't deal direct damage to them, the boss will do some crazy like 1,000% attack to your entire team, which is just going to totally destroy you and wipe you out. Also, the spider has the ability to slow the attack speed of your team down. And lastly, he has a venom, and whenever you're hit with that venom, it's going to do some damage over an amount of time specifically. So let's go ahead into the challenge stage. You can see on my team, I have Serena, Kain, Sorietta, Omar, and Bot Mark II. Bot Mark II isn't really doing AoE damage, but the reason I have him on this team is because of his decreased defense that he puts on the boss, which is going to make the boss take a ton more damage overall. And also, he's able to help increase his overall attack, but also the attack of his teammates as well, which is really, really, really helpful. And I have tried a lot of combinations out with a lot of different heroes besides Bot Mark II, but when it comes down to it and you're really trying to make a free-to-play friendly team, and Bot Mark II's skills and his kit end up being more beneficial in helping us do more damage overall than if I were to put another free-to-play friendly hero in that could do AoE damage. So he may not be the best choice, but he works really well in this team. Rhoda is going to be your number 1 commander choice with the spider. The reason for this is because Rhoda also does AoE damage. And then whenever we look at prototypes, I have Praying Eyes. This is going to help my team do more damage. It says when an allied energy hunter, assassin, or vanguard hero inflicts a critical shot with a basic attack, it increases their attack by 36% for 6 seconds. And this can happen once every 10 seconds. For this to happen as much as possible, you want to have 100% crit rate on your heroes that are dealing damage. You don't necessarily need it for it to happen, because it can happen even if you only have 20% crit rate. But of course, the chance is going to be much higher the closer you get to 100% crit rate. Next is Ancestral Will. And what this is going to do is basically increase any healing and shield effects that are cast by 50%. And lastly, I have Flashpoint. So when an allied support hero casts a healing skill, the cooldown of their normal skill shall be reduced by 30%. Any excess healing, and this is what you're really going to use this specific prototype for, any excess healing thereafter shall be converted into a shield and applied to the healed unit. The effect of the shield absorption shall last up to 10% of that unit's. Wow, that I don't know why it's like a tongue twister. Of that unit's max health. So these are not your only options, and if you don't have one of these, another really good option is going to be Solar Flare. The reason for Solar Flare is because when hitting 3 or more enemies at a time, it's going to increase the attack by 20% for 8 seconds, but it also will increase ultimate ability damage by 30% if it hits 5 or more targets at a time. That's definitely going to happen here, as there is a boss and 6 spiderling minion things that spawn in. So that's 7. So you're definitely going to be hitting them. especially if you're using AoE heroes, which you only should be using AoE heroes. So let's go ahead. I will jump in here and we'll go ahead and do the fight, and then afterwards I will show you each hero individually. I'll show you what their stats are, how much they've been leveled, the gear they have on, and I'll also give you a couple of options of heroes you can add in case you don't have any of these guys. But let's go ahead and I'll start it up and we can take a look here. But Kain is really nice because he has bombs that he can put off, which do AoE damage. Sorietta obviously has some AoE damage as well. Omar is a god in here with the amount of damage he does. Yeah, look at that insane jump that just happened. And then, as I was saying before, Bot Mark 2 is going to help us just deal more damage overall to the boss. But what's also really nice is the damage that you deal to all of these spider minions is going to be duplicated onto the boss. So whatever damage you do to them will be taken by the boss. And you see that the spider also has, the main spider has boosted attack, and that's because that's another one of his abilities. I believe it's once every 20 seconds. He gives himself increased attack overall. Yeah, you can see Omar is just absolutely destroying here. And Butt Mark 2 does actually apply that defense down to some of the spiderlings as well. It just depends on where it lands or who it lands on. But the more heroes we can get that to land, or the more spiders we can get that to land on, the more damage we're going to do. Just because any damage, like I was saying, that's done to them is also done to the boss. So we ended up doing 207.6 million damage, which is really good for a free-to-play team. And also, I want to say that this is not going to be the best team out there that's going to do the most damage or anything like that. And that's because this is more free-to-play friendly. So obviously, those teams that have a lot of Triple S heroes are going to do more damage. But this is a very, very good team for anyone to use that doesn't have a bunch of Triple S heroes until you can get those better heroes. So, but as you can see, Omar did 142 million damage out of the 207. So, Omar is totally insane. I wish that obviously I could have got a little bit more damage with the Bot Mark 2 and with Kain, but overall it's okay. And without Bot Mark's decreased defense, Omar and Sorietta wouldn't have done as much damage as they did. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and head back quickly so that you can... Actually, first, I'm going to show you my class technology, what I have and where. I didn't have any tanks on that team. I did have my support, which is my Serena, so I went ahead and leveled everything besides attack, basically. So she has more health, resistance, all that good stuff. And then under energy is leveled quite a bit, which is another reason Omar was doing a lot of damage. But I have leveled all of these up, and the reason I've done that is because I'm hoping to get some resistance that way and some more survivability without obviously building it in with the equipment or the gear that we place on the heroes, because that would be a waste. So it's nice to be able to get those extra stats from this class technology. And then you can see what I have for Hunter, Assassin. I don't have any for Vanguard. And then Tank, which we saw first. But let's go ahead and I'm going to show you the heroes. So most of the heroes I did use, actually all of them I believe were immortal. So we had Serena, Sorietta, Bot Mark II, Kain, and Omar down here at the bottom. So Serena is pretty stacked. I have all of her talents done, except for the ones that are going to boost her attack. It's not needed. As far as her exclusives go, she is very, very close, as you can see here, to having these totally maxed out as well. When we look at, let's look at her info. She has 1.5 million health and almost 8,000 defense. I placed the Vigorous set on her, which is going to increase her health overall by 15%. And then an Abundance set, which increases her healing by 35%. On her gloves, I have health percent. That's going to be the same for her mask or her helmet, and the same for her boots. Really, this is a really easy Serena build because I should have damage reduction into her, but with what I have available with these sets as a combination, this is what I could come up with for now until I get some better stuff. But this works incredible, as you can see. Then next we have Sorietta. Sorietta's attack is almost 57,000. Her exclusives, or his exclusives, sorry, are getting really close as well to being totally maxed out. Talents are totally done. And as you can see, I have went ahead and maxed out everything here, including health and defense. And that is something I do for all of my DPS heroes because it helps them survive. As far as equipment goes, I have 2 hero sets. Each are going to give an extra 15% attack, and then a Sun Signet set, which is going to increase our crit rate by 15%. You can see that the crit rate for Sorietta is fairly low. It's only at 40%. But Sorietta still did, I think it was 106 million damage to the boss overall. For the gloves, we have attack percent, for the helmet attack percent, and for the boots attack percent as well. Then we have Bot Mark II. Bot Mark's attack is 50,000. Talents are totally maxed out. Exclusives have not actually done too many exclusives. And then for equipment, it's got a little bit of a mix right now. You can see that we have a defensive set here, and that's only because I have a lot of attack heroes. I don't use Bot Mark II as much, so I've put the sets on heroes that I use more frequently. But we do have 2 crit damage sets, 2 overload sets, which increase crit damage by 20%. Honestly, that's probably not the best thing because of only having about 16% crit rate. So you're gonna get better results out of this if you use either hero sets or Sun Signet sets. For the gloves, we have attack percent, the helmet attack percent, and the boots attack percent. And then Kain has 43,000 attack. Talents are totally maxed. Exclusives, I have not done too much with those. And for his equipment, his build is actually just kind of okay. As you can see, there's a bunch of random pieces on here because Kain is another one of those heroes that I don't typically use a ton. But Kain ended up doing, I believe it was some like 50 million damage, which wasn't as good as a couple of the other heroes, but is not really bad. We have attack percent on the gloves, attack percent on the helmet, and for some reason, resist boots. I have no idea why it's like that. Why is that? I have no idea. That was not intentional whatsoever. And another reason he probably dealt a lot less damage. And if I would have had attack percent boots on him, I have no idea why I have. Maybe I like misclicked when I was gearing him. I don't know. I guess at least there's 3 rolls into attack percent, which makes no sense for these boots anyways. This is honestly probably a garbage piece of gear that I just have. But, well, it's on him. I don't know why, but there you have it. Kain works a lot like Emma because he has bombs. So he does need some accuracy to land his bombs to be able to do damage, which is why he has accuracy in his kit. And lastly, Omar. His talents are totally maxed out as well, with 48,000 attack, and that's actually lower than some of the other ones, and he did the most damage. Exclusives have been, I have done quite a few of those, and for equipment, he has an overload set, which is going to increase our crit damage by 20%, and 2 hero sets, which increase attack. We have crit rate percent on the gloves, attack percent on the helmet, and attack percent on the boots. We only have 60% crit rate overall. Of course, you want to try to get to 100 if you can, but it's not 100% necessary. And then as far as other heroes that you could use in place of any of the ones that I've shown you, the main choices you're going to have here are going to be either Carmal or Taylor. I did try both of those out, and I was able to get the most damage overall with using Bot Mark II over either of those heroes. But like I mentioned, if you don't have 1 or 2 of the heroes that I had on my team, those are also good options as well. If I was unclear about anything or you have any questions, definitely leave a comment below and I'll get back with you. Also, if you're running a free-to-play friendly team and doing more damage than I am, let me know in the comments as well. Who are you using? What kind of gear do you have on them? What does the team comp look like? Maybe it's going to be a difference in the prototypes or anything like that, because the comments are another great place to learn from other people as well, sharing information. I hope that you found this helpful and informative. If you're a new player looking for advice or an experienced player willing to give advice, join my growing Discord community. I'll leave the link for that in the description. Thanks for watching. Once again, it's the Mad Queen, and I'll catch you in the next video.